Vaibhav this side, and in today's video, I want to talk about intention and how to operate from it and move with intention, and why holding on to a desire and clinging to it actually takes you further and further away from your goal, and why you should really let go of a desire in the first place if you want to achieve the goal that you want. This is something that I have realized in my personal life time and time again, that whenever I need something and I need it badly enough, it actually takes me further away from the goal, and it always kind of feels like there is some invisible force, some friction that is working against me, and how to really navigate through those situations and come out of them untouched. Please stay until the end of the video, because we are going to talk about some subtle nuanced points that will really help you to understand the difference between desire and intention, and how to effectively move toward a goal with pure intention rather than being, operating from this place of neediness, operating from this place of lack and scarcity. Also, I'll be sharing with you 3 keys to really applying this principle in your life and achieving the success. So without further ado, let's get started. So in this video, I want to talk about intention and why desire alone isn't helping you to achieve your goal. And what I have realized in my life is that whenever I have a desire to achieve something, it always feels like that I am, battling against myself. And I read this concept of burning desire in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, that you need to have this burning desire to get what you want. And I tried to bring out this fire within me, but really you don't need to bring this desire at all. All you need to do is to just remove the blocks to it, because your desire is currently clouded by resistance. So what I want to share with you is that anytime that we have a desire, it always begins from this place of resistance. What I mean by that is, well, it's kind of like this. Whenever you want something, you resist the opposite of it first. You look in the mirror and you see that you are fat, and you are like, I don't want to be fat. So what do you want instead? Well, I want to be fit. So you go to the gym, you go on a diet, or you look into your bank account and you see that you don't have enough money. You see all the fun things that you could do if you were to have a lot of money. So what do you want? Well, I want to have, enough money. But the biggest problem is that when we keep focusing on the resistance, since the desire is born out of the resistance, we keep drumming this resistance. Kind of like this concept of target fixation. If you are on a highway and there is a car next to you that you want to avoid, you will notice that more you try to avoid this car, the more you move toward it. And why that happens is because life doesn't care about the nature of your focus. It only cares about the content of your focus. Whatever you are focusing on, the content of your focus becomes the point you move toward. The more you try to focus on avoiding something, the more you move towards it. If you focus on not having enough money in your bank account, you will keep having less money in your bank account. If you focus on how you are so fat, you will keep being fat. You see what I'm trying to say? So life doesn't care about the nature of your focus, but rather the actual content of your focus. Okay? So this is the problem, right? We keep drumming up this resistance. So really ask yourself this right now. Every single thing that you want, it was born out of resistance. So to give an example, I was quite overweight a few years back and I wanted to have a fit body. But predominantly I was focused on that I don't want to be fat, I don't want to be overweight. And more I focused on that, the more I remained fat. So one day I asked myself, like, what do you want instead? And I wanted to have a fit body. And when I started focusing on the desire, the path to achieving that goal started opening up. And one day I signed for a gym, started working out, enrolled myself with a nutritionist, started dieting, and I started focusing on the process of achieving that goal. So the problem is, people want to be rich, they want to make a lot of money because they want to avoid poverty rather than genuinely experiencing what it feels like to be, a rich person. We want to have a relationship to avoid being lonely rather than genuinely want to experience what it would feel like to be in a loving relationship. So you have got to really check which place it's coming from. Are you predominantly coming from a place of scarcity and lack, or are you coming from a place of abundance and wanting to experience something else? What is the 51% of thought, feeling and attitude you have on daily basis? That's what you've got to keep in check, because the more you focus on this resistance, the more you move towards it. It's like reality is a mirror and it reflects the attitude that you have toward it. when you complain about what's not working and why your life sucks, life gives you more and more reason to complain about and reasons to show you that your life really sucks. If you want to know more about it, click up here. I have made a video about the mirror principle and how to really use it, as well as why we get stuck in our life when we start complaining about what isn't working and what isn't right in our life, right? So definitely give it a check. To give you another example of this, when I first started off with my channel, I wanted to make good videos and have a lot of engagement on the videos, and I wanted to have lots and lots of views and subscribers, right? And every time I used to upload a video, I was constantly checking it out like, oh, I'm not getting any views, oh, no one is watching, no one is subscribing, my channel is bad, I'm not good enough. And more I was doing that, the more I felt this resistance to making new videos. So you see, I was coming up with a hypothesis, right? So this is also what we do when we come from a place of resistance. We form this hypothesis of what's not working, and then we start to look for evidence of it in our reality. I was like, I'm getting only 20-30 views. I wanted to have thousands of views, and I was focusing on the views that I didn't get rather than the views that I did get. So I get ungrateful for the views that I didn't get rather than being grateful for the views that I did get. The more ungrateful you are, the more you dwell in this place of resistance, the more and more things you come to be resistant to, right? So you have really got to catch yourself when you are in this resistance mode and you are coming from this place, right? But the thing is, it's not easy to change that because this has become a conditioning. We are looking at the glass half empty rather than looking at glass half full, and we really need to reprogram ourselves to look at the brighter side. I have actually made a video on how to reprogram your subconscious mind. Click up here to check that out. So this hypothesis was affecting my actions, and I saw that anytime you have a hypothesis, you are already confirming it to be true by looking at the evidence in your reality. You are already discriminating against the outcome. You are saying, okay, like this is how it should go. It's not going to work, and then you look for the evidence about why it's not going to work out, and it doesn't work out. You reprogram your RAS, your reticular activating system, to look for the evidence, and once you move completely from this place of resistance to what you want instead, then you reprogram your RAS the right way. The only way to do that is to have massive clarity around what do you want, because right now probably you are very clear about what you don't want, but very unclear about what you do want. What I also want you to know is that desire and resistance are both ineffective when it comes down to achieving your goal. You can want it all day long, you can desire it with all your heart, but as long as there is no forward movement toward it, you will never achieve the goal. So any sort of achievement, any sort of change that we bring about, the mechanism that actually brings about this change is neither resistance nor desire. You can want something with all the fire in your heart, but it will never manifest unless you make the decision and intention to have it. This is very crucial to understand, and you might be wondering what's the difference between desire, resistance and intention. So here what it is. So if you want to have this scale, on one side of it, if we have the resistance, and on the other side of it we have the desire, the minimum you can do is to shift your focus from resistance to desire, but the best that you can do is to avoid this scale altogether. Just completely avoid this scale anyways, because resistance and desire are just two polar opposite poles of this scale, and you focusing on this scale won't serve you. On the other hand, when we take this desire and we transmute it into intention, that's when we see the forward movement occur. So intention is not even the part of this scale. Intention is completely devoid of this polarity. When you have the resistance and the desire, they are always going to be polar opposite to it. But the minimum that you can do is to focus on the desire. Focus on what is wanted. Because when you focus on what is wanted, then the possibility to move toward it even opens up, right? So the key thing that I want you to take away from this scale is to get rid of this scale in the first place. The minimum you can do is to focus on the desire, but the best thing to do is to focus on the intention and moving towards the goal. So if I have to give you a definition of the intention, it will be total resoluteness in your decision to have an act. The problem with having a desire is that you are always going to have doubts around it. When we desire something, for example, if I desire to create a successful YouTube channel, the desire is always clouded with the doubts that I will or I will not achieve it. And it makes you needy, right? You start putting so much importance on this goal. So desire means that I don't have it right now, so I want it. And this creates this separation between your current and desired situation. Also, what desire really does is that it evokes this feeling of instant gratification. So to give an example, when I was trying to lose weight and started off my journey to get a fit body, I went to the gym and followed the diet, but every single day I used to weigh myself and I was like, oh, I'm not losing any weight, it's not working. And after a week or two, I was complaining and bitching about it as like this whole process is not working, right? This happens when you are too focused on the desire. You want the result immediately. You are not patient enough to put in the effort, because remember, things do take time. But we keep focusing on what isn't working, right? Instead of looking at what is working. So focusing on the desire creates a gap between your current reality and the desired reality, which you then complain about. Intention is what really fills this gap between those. So when I completely forgot about my goal, completely forgot about my desire, and I started focusing on the process, going to the gym every single day, following my diet properly every single day. And one day when I looked at myself in the mirror, I noticed that I had already lost a significant amount of weight and I started looking fit. So desire is goal oriented while intention is process oriented. Desire is the focus on the goal itself, whereas intention is the focus on the movement toward that goal. Okay, so when you focus on the process instead of the goal, then you begin that forward movement. So becoming process oriented is also a surefire way of becoming non-needy to the outcome. When you become needy to the outcome, you are already affirming to yourself that you already do not have it, what you need, right? So that's why need and want are completely different things. Need comes from a place of resistance. Need means I am resisting my current reality. I don't want this, I want that, I need that because I don't want this. Want means, well, I accept where I am completely, but I just want to experience that anyways. It would be awesome to experience that. I don't need it, I'm completely fine, but I would love to experience that. That will be awesome, right? So now I want to share with you 3 keys to help you apply this in your life, right? So please pay close attention to this. Key number 1, whenever you are focusing on the resistance, ask yourself this question: what do I want instead? Because unconsciously your mind is going to be thinking, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want to be poor, I don't want to be fat. Well, what do you want instead? Shift your focus to that. You understand what you don't want, but what do you want instead? That's the key thing you have got to ask yourself and remind yourself every time your mind does slip into that place of resistance, because that's the smallest possible thing you can do for yourself. Go to that place of desire first, and only then does intention even become the possibility. Because if you are looking for that how to from that place of resistance, you are going to look for ways to confirm that hypothesis of what's not working. Because in this day and age, we have all the information and all the resources available, but for some reason people are just not able to stick to them because they don't even know what they want. You've got to get clear about what do you want in your life and keep predominantly focusing on that, and then the right path towards it automatically shows up for you. Because when you are coming from a place of resistance and you are looking for that how to, your judgment is always going to be clouded by this hypothesis of what you have already found. So first and foremost, get massive clarity around what you want, why you even want it, and then seek how you want to get there. Okay, but more often than not, the how shows itself when you just focus on the desire and have the clarity around it, right? Number 2, You have got to make a firm decision to go toward what you desire. When you make this decision, you make the choice. Everything we desire and have in our life is a result of the decision that we make. So when you make the choice, it happens. Okay, everyone has the power of choice. Choice literally shift you on a different lifeline. I talked about shifting the lifeline and the alternative space model in my previous video. Click here to watch. But when you make a decision, you shift to the lifeline that will take you toward this goal. Because when you make a decision, you put out this intention and reality start to arrange itself to deliver you to your goals. But what really happens is that we make this whole process so complex in our mind by overthinking it and mentally over analyzing it. It's kind of like the next time you want to pick up your phone, just sit there and think about it for an hour, and you will naturally start to build up resistance because you get into this mental loop of overthinking, whether or not I should do it, should I do it, should I not do it, and then you think about the benefit and drawbacks, and you become very, very calculative instead of just going about and doing it. Okay, so just make the choice and trust that it will happen, because you can either choose to wait around and hope life gives you what you want, or you can just make a choice, a firm decision, and put in the work, immerse yourself in the process to make your dream come true, right? And number 3 is, whenever life present to you the revelation, immediately act upon it. When you make the decision, when you make the choice, the path will naturally present itself to you. You just have to seize the opportunity instead of overthinking it. The more you think about it, the more you cloud your judgment and more you get in your own way. So to give you an example, when I wanted to get fit and I was walking around, I saw a gym and I went straight there and enrolled myself. Same with this channel. I wanted to have a platform where I could share things that I want to share. And one day I got this idea to start a YouTube channel and I immediately acted upon it. So whenever you get this revelation about what process will get you to your goals, just act upon it. When you don't know the process or what will get you to your goal, then focus on the goal itself until the process shows itself to you. When you focus on the goal, the pathway towards the goal reveals themselves to you. When you make the decision to get toward the goal, the pathways eventually reveal themselves to you, and then it's up to you to act upon and seize that opportunity and use that to help you to get toward the goal, right? And with that, I'm concluding this video. Leave me a comment down below to let me know if that was useful, or if you have anything to ask. I will be more than happy to answer them. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, much love and peace.